shape our dream. Yes, people's heart is the need of the hour. We'll renew our vision, fulfill our mission. With the faith of St. Paul in Christ who is risen. With the Sabbath, you have a voice. In the Sabbath, you have a choice. The PCS sets the pace to make this world a better place. We have a destiny with faith. We'll clinch the triumph of love over hate. The Sabbath shows the way, committed to a better tomorrow today.
So before we begin, I would like to welcome each and every one of y'all. First of all, we are here. Our webinar itself titled, the title itself says that career opportunities in civil services. What we are going to do today is we are attempting to guide our youth to explore a career in the civil services. We have two fantastic speakers here. Each of them have made their mark in our community, and they will motivate and guide the participants, you participants, on this particular subject. So first we will be having Mr. Magimai Arogya Raj A, who is an IRS officer from Chennai. A formal introduction will be done before he takes over the session. We also have Ryan Pinto, who is the founder of Knowledge Valley, another organization which has been guiding and preparing students in our Mumbai city for civil services. So, as you may be aware, that the need of the hour is that the Christian community makes its presence felt in the political and the government arenas and take the values of Christ into the secular areas of administration and governance. With these short words, I would now request our President, Advocate Rafael D'Souza, to please give us a small address, a welcome address. Thank you, Advocate. Join in, please.
Okay. Thank you, Lawrence. The principal office bearers of the Bombay Catholic Sabha, of the All India Catholic Union from different states, the executive committee members of the Bombay Catholic Sabha, two distinguished speakers, Magimai Arokya Raj and Ryan Pinto, all the participants. A very good evening to all of you. There are politicians, but politicians do not run this country. The true people who run this country are the bureaucrats. And bureaucrats are all civil servants. If governance has to improve in our country, definitely we need better bureaucrats than better politicians. The day we are in a position, the governance of the bureaucracy improves and they become fearless, rest assured, this country will be a better place to live in. The politician may give a slogan of good governance, but the delivery of the good governance belongs to the bureaucrats. The minister may be a titular head, but the actual carrying on the work and implementation of these programs are done by the bureaucrats. There was a time, my dear friends, when in every organ of the government, be the principal secretary to the prime minister, people in the RBI, enforcement directorate, armed forces, judiciary, call what you like. There were enough and more people from our community. However, today, perhaps we need to have the strongest batteries in our torches to search for the civil servants or the bureaucrats from our community. The reasons may be many, but time has come to change the situation. The trend has to change if we need to have better governance. The Christian community among us, we have a name all across that we are well behaved, well mannered, polite, and intelligent. But when the field of governance, our intelligence is not shown. Bombay Catholic Sabha is making a small attempt in a larger interest to bring people who are in the civil services together and confronting them with you, aspirants, so that with the knowledge and experience they have, you can develop yourself as a bureaucrat of the future. The future of this country, as people say, is in your hands. We can be only modes or instruments to bring you or to encourage you. I'm very happy that today we have Magimai Arokya Raj, a recent entrant to the civil services and is working as the Assistant Commissioner of Customs in Chennai Airport. We have Ryan Pinto, who has given his time and again to the Bombay Catholic Sabha and the aspirants to develop them, to teach them techniques, how we can crack the civil service. I congratulate the training and youth wing forum of our Bombay Catholic Sabha, led by Lawrence Fernandez, our Vice President, for arranging this webinar for the benefit of our community. There are people who are present here from all across, and not only Catholics, but Christian community as a whole. And I wish all of you take very good advantage of this and prepare yourself so that the name of our community is carried forward in the administration process of our country. All the best to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Advocate, for your again enlightening us with your words of wisdom.
And good evening to everybody. This is Mahimai Arekras. I am talking from Chennai, working as I already told, as an assistant commissioner in the Chennai airport. First of all, I am say thank you for giving me such an opportunity to meet these people. Yes, here the topic is about civil service. I want to join generally not in the service, first in the government, in the part of the government. Because first of all, for me, then for my family, then for my society. For me means the service has given the status. The service has given me the identity. This is not only to me. At the time of publishing of the result, all over media, all over India, the name of my village has been published. The people of my village still, they are feeling very happy whenever seeing me. I'm not doing anything to them. I'm telling you, I'm not doing anything to them. Only the name is enough for them. From their village, there is a servant, as a civil servant, working as the part of the government of India. Whenever I am seeing the word government of India in front and the rear pan of my car, I feel very happy. I am part of the government. You know why? In my younger days, I used to go to the government offices to take the attestation. My first aim is I want to get into the service at least to attest. The Then afterwards, I worked as a teacher for 3 years under the state government. Then got into the service in the year of 2015. We want to be part of the government as a community, as a representation of our community. I have seen only one name as a JC. His name is Arukya Das in my whole service. Whenever I am seeing the name, it belongs to the Christianity. It generally I'm not religious, not religious, ultimate religious person only, but I will not show it the outside. But whenever I'm seeing the name in the name of the Christ, I feel very happy. Yes, our people are also there. As Mr. Lawrence told me, nowadays the younger generations are not giving more importance to the civil service. Yes, of course, the salary and other benefits, whatever we are getting, is less when compared with the corporate or any other sector. But the government is not only giving me the salary, it is providing me lot of other facilities. So the salary, whatever I'm going to get in the corporate or other sector is not a matter to me, but the pride, but the satisfaction serving to the society is whatever I'm getting from this service. Really, I'm very happy with my service. I tried for IAS the year 2000, from the year 2011 up to the last year 2019. I have written all the 9 attempts. I have attempted all the 9 attempts. In my 4th attempt, I got into the service. In my last 3 attempts, I couldn't able to clear the prelims also. So that is another story. The people, those who want to enter into the service, the basic thing is they may think like that. Students used to come from the IIT or very much reputed institutions only can clear the examination. That is not. That is a misconception. The civil services required an average student. Even many officers have not completed their degree course in the regular manner. Most of the officers have completed in the correspondence, but through their self-preparation, they have got into IAS also, serving in the home cadre also. Getting into services is a big thing. Again, serving in the home cadre. Home cadre means serving in the same state is another gift. So first of all, we have to stop the thinking like that. Only very bright student can get into the service. I'm not a very bright student, above average student, but I have completed my school studies, everything from the government institute. I have studied in the government school, Tamil Nadu government school. Very much happy with my teachers. I have blessed with the good teachers. So my basic understanding, my basic knowledge, everything I got from my school. But I have not started the preparation from the school. Nowadays, the students are getting into 12th standard, 12th standard. They want to channelize their students to civil service from the basic undergraduation itself. Those students are gifted. I have attained such knowledge. Okay, I want to get into the civil service only from the beginning itself, but the preparation started very late after the degree. So if you want to get into the service, please clear it. You can start your preparation from the beginning itself. But the one thing about the civil service, the small bad thing, we are not sure whether we'll get into the service or not that particular year. But that is a very small proportion. But if you are sure, definitely you will get into service in a day. We who don't know, unless it will happen. That's now we will talk about the service. The civil service starts with the preliminary examination. The students, another thing I want to tell you is the language. I am the person who has written this service in both the languages. My mother tongue is Tamil. I have written the exam in English also. It was a coincidence. In the year 2013 in Tamil Nadu, one IAS officer got into the service by writing the exam in Tamil. He is the topper at the time. By seeing that person, already I applied in English, second application I put in Tamil. I have not prepared anything in Tamil. But my way of studying is, I read everything in English, but I understood only in my mother tongue. My mind will write everything in my brain in my mother tongue. Because most of the students may not able to get the English medium from the beginning itself. The people, those who are studying in English medium, okay, well and good, gifted boys. but some of them may not able to get that much facility to go from the beginning. So language is not a barrier because in the year 2013, I have written the main examination. I couldn't able to get into the interview by the shortfall of only 6 months. The year next year 2014, I have written the main examination I wrote. Say in that year also, whatever the marks I scored in the general studies and in my optional paper, the same mark I scored in the 2014 also. Here the only difference is language. 2013 I have written in English. 2014 I have written in Tamil. So language is not playing any role in this exam. In Tamil means it's my mother tongue. I think most of the people are seeing from Maharashtra, Bombay, maybe Marathi or Hindi. Whatever the medium, some of them posted here, please speak in Hindi. I'm so sorry. I'm also learning Hindi since I'm a central government employee. I have to work all over India, but I'm learning. I could understand. I have one of my assistant commissioner from Maharashtra. I'm always used to make a trouble for him to teach me. So every day morning we used to send a small messages in Hindi. That's the way I'm learning. So language is not going to make a problem. The brightness, the toppers is not going to make a problem. What is required is your consistency. What is required is of the way you understand the pattern. You have to read the earlier question papers. That is the best teacher for you. You have to understand. Many officers have cleared, even in my batch also, without going to any coaching institutes. I to the coaching institute, I have studied in government. In Tamil Nadu, we are very much gifted. Tamil Nadu government, there is a state civil service coaching institute is there. For that one entrance examination is there. You have to write that exam, you have to clear it, and we can join it. They will provide everything, our boarding, lodging, books, even the money for to go to Delhi to attend the personal interview. Everything they will give you. I have utilized everything. That also I have utilized the government. I think from the beginning of my life, I'm from the government only. Government school, government institute, then now and then under the government service. I'm very happy for that. So the people, those who are preparing, is first they have to understand the pattern of the exam. First, please go through at least 10 to 15 years of your preliminary question paper. Every year, they will give weightage to certain section. Some year environment, some year economics, some year history, some year geography, some year polity. These 5 are major. The remaining things now around the last 5 to 6 years, government is giving more importance to environment, some and economics. Politics, some year coming up, some year going down. Geography is a basic subject. Very much and very much interested in that subject. So the students, those who are preparing, they have to be make more comfortable. That means they have more knowledge with whatever the subjects they are like much more. I am very much interested in geography, polity, environment, and economics. These 4 paper, whatever the questions, I am examination. There is one negative aspect there. That is the negative mark. 1/4 of the mark will be deducted if I am going to. If 4 questions are there, 3 questions if I am answering right, and the 4th one is wrong, then my net mark will be 0. So this is the aspect. This is one of the aspect is in civil service. That is very much interesting. So you have to be very careful. It is not just like that. I cannot take every ABCD. It is not like that. You have to understand. The another beauty in the civil service is there will be definitely 4 options will be there. Nowadays the question paper is very tough. 4 options for every questions minimum. You know the 3 options. The beauty is in selecting the 4th option, the God should be with us. I'm not telling I'm everything. Definitely without the power of the God, I even couldn't able to clear the exam. After my interviews, straight away came from my village, from Delhi. I reached my village. The next day I went to Velangani. I know without the God, I couldn't do. I was not able to do anything. Here I just, for the namesake, I'm not telling. This is what happened. I visited I visited the God, I prayed to mother, then I came back. One day I cleared that examination. So the preliminary examination really challenging. In the civil service, the real challenging part is preliminary examination. Around 4 to 5 lakhs people are appearing. The serious candidates will be very less. Serious candidates will be very less. So you don't bother about the crowd. But the preliminary examination from the 4 to 5 lakhs, only 16 to 17 or 18,000 will be allowed to write the main examination. You have to be one of those reduced number of the students. That is the most challenging part in the civil service examination. Once you clear the prelims, mains, it will automatically. This is the beauty of the exam is once if you are clear the prelims, the exam itself will make you eligible for the second stage. That the way it will bring it to you. The main examination, that is also one of the beauty. I have already told you in the 2013, one thing I want to highlight. I have written one exam, I have read the essay paper is there. I have taken one topic, imperialism in the present scenario. Imperialism regarding the British government before independence and after independence. The mistake I made was sequence. I missed the sequence of my essay. The another thing is the topic what I have chosen. It is not very much familiar. Maybe my mind might have thought that the topic is very much familiar, but at the time of writing, I was not comfortable with the topic. So I got only 77 marks. As I told you already, I missed the main exam in an interview by a shortfall of only 6 marks. Here where I missed means in my essay. So the essay, my experience I'm telling, we have to take most familiar question. There will be 5 headings will be there in the essay. 5 topics they will give. Please, we have to go for most familiar one. The year 2014, I have wrote the exam in Tamil. I have taken the essay. It is very, very simple. I think it is stages of life or growth something as in the child. I have taken the essay. I wrote the essay at the level of 10th standard student. At the level of 10th standard, not at the level of graduate, not at the level of postgraduate or doctorate. Because I was worked as a teacher, I know the level of 10th standard student. Their essay I know very well. That level only, I have written that essay. I got, believe it or not, 147 I got. Earlier year, I got 77. The next year, for the same essay, very simple essay, it's not a complicated. I got 147, it is one of the highest marks. The next year, I got 150. 3 marks. In 2015 also, I have appeared for the main examination. Interview also appeared. Service, I got it. What difference I made, the sequence, the coherence, one by one, clarity, that is enough. They don't want the stuff from the Shakespeare poem or they don't want the stuff from economic theory or this and that, nothing I have written. So be simple. If we be simple in our concept, that is enough for them. As I told you already, language is not going to make any difference. In the mains examination, there are 4 general studies paper is there. 1, 2, 3, 4 general studies. Whatever the marks I have received when I wrote in English, the same marks I got when I wrote in Tamil. There is no difference. It is also around a 90 to 100 range per paper. Maybe every paper 200 marks. If you are getting 82 to 100, you will definitely will get a service. The same mark I got when I wrote the exam, same exam in Tamil. Tamil means all the exams in Tamil except one language paper in your mother tongue. You can write everything in Tamil. Whatever the medium you are studying doesn't matter. If you are going to clearly express you within that short span of time in 3 hours in the main examination, that is the only thing is going to speak. So you don't bother about anything or everything, your language, your medium, your background, your proficiency, nothing. The last part will be your interview. You don't bother about the interview. Interview in the hand of God and interview. In the interview, you have to be very clear and confident. These 2 things are enough. The board will consist of 5% with the chairman. They will ask simple questions only. They are expecting a calm and composure, a confident person. Nothing more than that. They are not expecting a scientist. They are not expecting any big jambavans. Nothing. Be the simple person. If you clear prelims, if you clear mains, definitely, automatically, the exam will brought you to the interview. That means it will prepare you. The exam will prepare you. The basic thing is every day, please, we have to update our knowledge. That means at least paper. Nowadays, the newspapers are more than enough to write the exam. In the main examination, one more thing I want to let you know that is the optional subject. It is the main, it is the major thing. It is going to differentiate yourself from others. The optional subject, it is according to the person to person. You have to select the paper where you feel more comfortable. I felt more comfortable with the two papers. One is geography, another one is Tamil literature. But my major subject, what I studied in my UG undergraduation is mathematics. All are different. I studied mathematics, worked as a maths teacher, but I took geography and Tamil as my optional subjects. But later the optional subject reduced to one. Then I left geography. Geography you got to lot. I studied, but I completed. But still, I feel more comfortable with the Tamil literature. Then all of my exam is in Tamil only. Tamil literature optional. I have wrote all the papers in my mother tongue, except only one English paper. The another thing I want to mention it. As I told you, I attempted all the 9 attempts. First attempt, I have not cleared. If you are failing in this exam, it is not a fail. That means you are not qualified for the exam. That means you have to make yourself more qualified. You have to increase your qualification. So you have to study more. You have to increase the speed. You have to increase everything. If you studied one time in the first year, if you are failed to get into that exam, the second year you have to increase 2 times of your speed. Even in the second year, if you are not able to clear it, the third year you have to increase double the time. You have never and ever lose our confidence. I never lose my confidence because I never thought that I have failed in that exam. I just keep it in my mind. This year I am not qualified. That means I have to improve myself. Then maybe next year I may be eligible by the board. The board may select me for the civil service exam. The year when you are selected, you will be the year when you are going to be selected by the board. That year you are more qualified. That year you yourself will feel that definitely this year I will get into the service. Why I am talking more about the service? At least we want to be part of the government. The civil servants are the backbone of the government of India. Maybe the politicians are the outer frame. But the inner brains, really the civil servants, they are working. There is still one issue I am facing in the, I have seen in our Christian community. In Tamil Nadu, scheduled caste people, if they have converted into Christianity, they will be considered as an OBC as per the government rules. State government OBC, then central government OBC. If you are appearing for the central government examination, state government examination, you have to compete with the OBC people, not with the SC people. As per the record, in the society, you are the SC. But actually, you are OBC in the eyes of the government. You have to fight against the OBC people in the examination. But still, we are making rallies, we are making petitions, we are making prayers to the government to change, to give the original reservation to the people, those who belong to the scheduled caste community. For that, at least from the Christian community, the people should be there, the places where the decisions are making. It may not give, it will be an added advantage. The government may one day consider this requisition from the public. So I think I have shared my experience with you. And thank you for your listening. And I'm going to listen to the Mr. Pinto, who is maybe ready to give his presentation. I'm happy and I'll be with you only. Thank you so much, Mr. Lawrence.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for your words of wisdom. You provided us very good insights. I would request you to please hold on. We will be having a Q&A round after Ryan's presentation. Before we go, and I request Ryan to come on, I would request the participants that at the bottom of your screen you have an icon for chat. You may be having questions, queries for our speakers. So you can just key in your questions. They may be short, or your queries can I will take it up with the speakers in the Q&A round. So please do type in, key in your questions. Thank you. So I now request Ryan Pinto to come in. Ryan Pinto has been with the Bombay Catholic Sabha, let's say from 2017, and together we have been trying to sensitize the topic of having civil services as a career option in our community, and he has been partnering with us in all our face to face seminars, and this is the first time that we are going to have a webinar. We now request Ryan Pinto to please join. I will be sharing the screen.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah. We can
Yes,
hear you. I've made you the presenter. You can please upload your photos or presentation. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Bombay Catholic Sabha, for giving me this opportunity. Especially thank you to the office bearers of the Bombay Catholic Sabha to have arranged such a beautiful seminar or webinar so that the students get or the people get a good idea about civil services. Today, what we are going to do is we are trying to break a lot of myths which are there in the people's mind when we talk about civil services exam. A very great congratulations and thanks to Mr. Arokya Raj, who's like a idol for us, when we talk about these idols, talk about young people like Mr. Arokya Raj, it brings a lot of pride. Special thanks webinar for Rafael sir, who's the president of Bombay Catholic Sabha, Lawrence sir, Bento sir, and also Vinod sir, who have always been supporters of this. There is no personal benefit, always, and these are the leaders which we need to have. A community, a group of people grow if they have good leadership. So as Rafael sir was also saying, the strong batteries are needed in the torch. So you can see the strong batteries in front of you. Now, when we talk about civil services, what are the problems? Why have we conducted this webinar? What is the reason we have conducted this webinar? The details are all there in the website. There is www.upsc.gov.in. There is YouTube present. There is Facebook there. So many things present, but still people do not have proper knowledge about misconceptions about the civil services. So when we talk about civil services, when we are talking about this webinar, we are talking about the civil services and the myths behind the civil services so that we can break the myths and people can take this as an opportunity to join the services, or you can say an opportunity for, if anyone wants to take it as a job, it's another job opportunity. I will give you a good benefit of the civil services exam before I start my presentation. I would like everybody to think, many youngsters present. Just imagine you are at the age of 40 to 45 and a COVID situation happens, after 15, 20 years, and you are in a private job. If you lose your job, where will and how will you get another job which is there? So when we think about our job opportunities, one thing I always ask my students and I always ask youngsters is, you should have a long-term vision rather than a short-term vision. So when you think about your job, many of your students, many of the students who are joining over here have been are from the, a little noise is coming. So many of you who have been joining the webinar over here are mostly students, and they will be thinking of how to get about a job opportunity. That's the first basic thing. The other benefits of the government jobs I will be telling you later. the most important benefit is you should always have a long-term vision. This is my advice to the students always. So when you think about your future, we should not have short-term plans, rather have long-term plans. And think after 15-20 years, many of you will be in the age of 15 to 22. Just imagine after 15-20 years, if we have another situation like COVID-19 or any economic crisis, anything can happen, and the companies close down. Where will we get this? Where will we job? So when we talk about government jobs, the first thing that I always tell the students is it is almost permanent. I'm not saying that you can't be you're corrupt, you're bad. Yes, you can be removed, but yes, there is an opportunity. If you see the Constitution, Article 311 gives a lot of a power, or you can say permanency to your job. So Article 311 in the Constitution tells about the permanency. Though, yes, there have been cases like recent past, we have some IPS officers and all were removed because they were not working properly. It is not that the government just removed that because they wanted to. So first thing that you must remember is when you talk about the civil services, you must think about, if you are taking it as a job opportunity, think about the permanency part. But now I will be giving you the second. It is not just a job opportunity. As Mr. Arokya Raj also said, it is not just that you join a job and you do something and you do a 9-to-5 job. When you talk about UPSC, when you talk about civil services, when you talk about these exams, it gives you a platform to do good to the people. It helps you, it gives you a platform to have resources so that you can work for the people. And what else, what more satisfaction do we want? And having our Christian values and talking about of Christ, he has said the people. So that is the best thing that we should be thinking. Opportunity, take it as a thing to do for the people. This is a best platform that any the services can give you. And you can also speak to Magimai Arokya Raj and just ask him how he's helping change the society. Just his name, just his position is giving confidence in the minds of the people. He spoke about like his village is so confident when he's around, his name is there around. He's not doing anything, but still it has a lot of impact. Does the same impact, is it there when you're doing something else? That is the second thing that you should bring to your mind. So I just gave you a brief review why Bombay Catholic Sabha, with all the office bearers and Magimai Arokya Raj, who have taken out their time and are here to give you the details about this exam, is not because they have any personal gains from it, but they want you to do well by getting a basic thing, that is information. So now what I will be doing is I will be continuing with the presentation. Whenever we talk about the government jobs, the first thing that comes to your mind, or whenever we are speaking, is we're always using the UPSC or civil services. Now, what do you mean by civil services? What is civil services, or what is UPSC actually? Union Public Service Commission. So UPSC, you must remember, is Union Public Service Commission, and it is an organization or commission which is there in the Constitution of India. So just remember, Union Public Service Commission is a commission which is there in the Constitution of India. So it is a very powerful commission. Its main work is to recruit. So you must have heard UPSC. You must remember they are there for your recruitment. So it helps you to recruit. So first thing you must remember, UPSC, it's a commission in the Constitution of India, and it helps in the recruitment of all the top posts, that is the IAS, IFS, IPS, IRS, etc. So now you'll be thinking, sir, for the when you talk about the IPS, IAS, IRS, etc., are these different exams? UPSC, the civil services exam, which is conducted by UPSC, the exam is the same. The exam is one, and according to your rank, you become an IAS, IPS. And second thing that you have to remember, that exam is one. There are no different exams for IAS, IFS, IPS, IRS, etc. So then you will be asking the third question then, so what about income tax? I want to become an income tax officer. I want to become a sales tax inspector. I want to join the railways. I will be discussing about this just in the later part of my discussion. It will be another 15-20 minutes and I will finish the discussion. So I will be telling you that time. Now on your screen, you can see Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaking to the officers who have passed the exam. So Mr. Arokya Raj in the past must have been one of these, and the President of India when he passed the
Yes,
exam.
very much.
Yes. So so this is IAS. So when you become an IAS officer, you start as a district collector. So remember, UPSC conducts the exam. When you become IAS, IPS, IFS, IRS, according to the rank, the highest rank you get IAS. After that, you have IFS, Indian Foreign Service. After that, according to the rank, I'm giving you the rank. So Indian Foreign Service, you become the ambassadors of our country and also a foreign secretary later. A rank little less, you become IPS, Indian Police Service. Here you start as a superintendent of police. You will not start as an inspector. You will start as a superintendent of police, reaching up to the Director General of Police or the Commissioner or any other post. Then you have IRS, Indian Revenue, Indian Railway Service, Indian Information Service, so on and so forth. So one thing you must remember, there are these posts are given to you according to the rank. So there is no different exams. It is according to the rank. Now this is about the services which are present. I will just show you two pictures, one of the IPS and then IRS, which the Indian Railway Revenue Service, which Mr. Arokya Raj is also a part of. So this is the logo of Indian Revenue Services. So you have to remember, the exam is one, and according to the rank, you get the services. So I'm trying to break some myths. I'm trying to see what are the points or what are the questions which mostly students have in their mind. This is the IPS. So if you look at your screen, you can see the logo of the symbol of the IPS and an officer. So the reason I'm showing this to you is, if you don't have dreams, you will not be able to crack these exams. Dreams or the knowledge or the information is the first basic thing that you need to have. So you need to see. So it's not only now. After the presentation, I would want whoever is interested, they should be going to the website. They should be going to the YouTube, especially students, to check. Don't just believe us. You should also be doing some research to check what is the power and what is the position, and a lot of things are there in the YouTube and all the other things. Now the benefits of joining these services. You will be thinking, so why should we join these services? The first thing is the salary. So there is a lot of myth in the mind that, okay, people might be getting very less salary. The salary for a joinee is 56,000 and it goes up to 250,000 for a cabinet secretary. It's per month. So I don't think so 56,000 or 250,000 is anything less. because the other expenses are taken care of by the government of India. Like you'll have the medical expenses or any other expenses which are there. A lot of things government of India gives you. They give you quarters, they'll give you the best places. So wherever you're posted, you'll be getting the best places. So first thing that you have to remember is, because many doubts in mind. So first thing is a salary. You get good 56,000, 2,50,000. And just imagine the power you're going to have. This is the basic, this is the most important thing why we should be talking about the civil services. It is for the power. Again, power not to do bad for the people, power to work for the people. The Christian values teaches us that if God has given us power, if he has chosen us, it is for the people. So why don't we work hard, get the power, and do what God has always asked us to do? That is service to the people, and see the level of satisfaction you get. The money does not give satisfaction. Yes, it is needed, but up to a certain point, that basic is looked after by the government of India. The next important thing, even Mr. Arokya Raj was saying, it is respect. The respect which you will get from the people is going to be immense, which nor your private or any other job will give you. That is the respect. And finally, the leadership quality. And again, as you see on the screen, the leadership quality, not that you go on top, but the leadership quality, you pull others with you on top. So growth is not when you grow alone. Growth is when you grow with all the people around, and then that's called the actual growth. Because if you grow alone, then what happens is one day it will all be down. So these are the benefits, and these are the long-term things that the student should be thinking. So I told you about Union Public Service Commission. It's a body. I told you about the exam it conducts. That is, it conducts one exam, that is a civil services exam. It conducts other exams also. First, I'm just talking about the civil services exam and the benefits of the civil services exam. Now, I will give you the paper pattern. I have told you the benefits. I have told you all the good things about it. This is the biggest thing which is there in people's mind. Just telling the good things, just talking about joining, how to like why to join and what should have been done, and etc. etc. That is not just it. So when we talk about the civil services exam, you should also understand what is the paper pattern. This is the biggest myth that we have in mind. Paper pattern is the biggest myth. So why am I saying that? People think might be some questions will be coming from out of the world and some rocket science or PhD questions are being asked. Answer is no. As Mr. Arokya Raj also just said, that you don't need to be a brilliant, outstanding student to pass these exams. This is the biggest myth that I should be telling you all. And this is the biggest myth which many, I would say everyone has. Whoever's thinking about UPSC or whoever's listening over here, they have this in mind. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been listening. You would have already started studying for the exam. Because you have heard it from people who have never seen UPSC or who have never tried for UPSC. People think, oh, might be UPSC will be one of the difficult exams in the world, etc., etc. It is the most competitive. It is not difficult. Now, you'll ask me, so how are you telling all this? So I will be showing you the paper pattern, and Mr. Arokya Raj has given this exam. He will also be accepting, and you can also verify this on your www.upsc.gov.in. I've taken the paper pattern or the syllabus from there. Let's see what is the syllabus. So it's a 3-tier exam. You have prelims, mains, and interview. Prelim is in the month of May. So May 31st was going to be the prelims this year, but because of the COVID-19, the prelims has shifted to October 4th. They have given the next year. Whoever is planning to give next year exam, just remember It's June 17. So the prelim is going to be on it's going to be on the month in the month of June next year. The mains is going to be in the month of September, and then interview is going to be in the month of January. So this is how the pattern of the exam is. What is there in the prelims? In the prelims, we have two papers, that is GS and aptitude. On Sunday, so on one day there will be two papers. Just you have to imagine yourself, okay? There is going to be two papers, that is prelims and aptitude. So morning 9 to 11 you have got GS, and then 2 to 4 there is aptitude. Secondly, you must remember it is an objective type paper, that is A, B, C, D. Third, you must remember it hello, is my voice audible?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So so we were telling about, I was telling about the paper. So it is an objective type paper. So the questions are A, B, C, D, and then it is on one day. Two papers are there on one day. GS paper, there are 100 questions, and in aptitude there are 80 questions. Now, who can give these prelims, mains, interview? I'll give you the eligibility. It is from 21 to 32 years. Again, I'm repeating, it is from anyone who is 21 years till the age of 32, they can give this exam. So just remember this. So you have 21 to 32. So if you look at the screen, I'm just writing it down. Secondly, if you are from the OBC, from 21 to 35, and for the SC/ST, it is 21 to 37. For the general, most of us will be general, some OBC, some ST, SC/ST. For the general, there are 6 attempts. For OBC, there is 9 attempts, and for the SC/ST, this in between this, you can give how many exams you want. So one thing you must remember, you only need one attempt. So you don't have to think about the attempts. You only need one attempt to pass the exam, and if you work hard, you will be able to crack those exams. The next thing that you have to remember is the age. So I told you 21 to 32, 21 to 37, 21 to 35, and 21 to 37. Graduation. You only need to be a graduate in any of the field. It need not be engineering or anything. Means if you are an engineer, even if you are a doctor, even if you are a CA, a BA, a BCom, any, you can give this exam. So if you are a graduate and your age is 21, you can sit for the exams. If you are general, you're 6 attempts, 9 attempts, and for the SC/ST, so between 21 to 37. So I gave you the eligibility. I told you the scheme, that is prelims, mains, interview. Now what I'm going to give you is the syllabus. Now this is the most important thing, because many a times people feel might be some questions coming from outside the world. They might be asking some rocket science. Answer is no. Don't ask you some rocket science. What they are asking you is very basic history. So if you look over your history, geography, polity, economics, environment ecology, general science. Again, I'll repeat: history, geography, polity, economics, environment ecology, general science. So I don't think so any of you must have not heard about these subjects. These subjects were there in your 10th standard. And if you notice, if you listen to the toppers, even Mr. Arokyaraj will also tell you, you have to do 8th to 12th standard NCERT textbooks, NCERT. So whoever is planning to do, just remember 8th to 12th standard NCERT textbooks, or if you want to start with 6th to 10th standard NCERT textbooks. 6 to 10 standard also will be fine. Sometimes 8 to 12 if anyone wants to go ahead. The most important thing over here, most important thing you must remember over here is current affairs. So one thing, anyone who is planning to do UPSC or government jobs, current affairs, the first point I did not read, it is very, very, very important. So whoever wants to remember current affairs, whoever is planning to start, remember, start watching newspaper, start watching any news channel, and especially the Hindu newspaper, the Hindu. So you must remember, the Hindu newspaper is very important. Hindu, and your textbooks are NCERT. Current events, very, very important. And I always suggest my students, watch the news channel like NDTV or Rajya Sabha TV or Doordarshan. Why NDTV? Because there are a lot of sensible discussions going on over there, and you will get points regardless of the politics. No one, or we should not be seeing the politics. We need points to write in your answers. So we get some good points. Even in your Rajya Sabha TV, there is Big Picture, there is India's World, many channels, many discussions are there, very beautiful discussions. So you have these channels you can see. Next is aptitude. So now this is, we are talking about the syllabus. Syllabus, history, geography, economics, social development, science, etc. Very basic. Then you have aptitude. Aptitude is comprehension, interpersonal and communication skills, logical reasoning, decision making, mental ability, and basic numeracy. All these are covered in your aptitude. And whoever, I'm telling you, even Mr. Arakuraj brought this point. Most of you all, if from the cities, most of you all are from the cities. And city has a very good advantage of good schools and institutions. And that is where we have to take that advantage. We have got good English, the command over English. We have got good decision-making skills which are put into us in school days. What else do we need? So these things can be used for your paper 2, and your aptitude will be checked. And this is how you can pass the exam. So remember, GS, the first paper is GS paper, that is a paper 1, that is called as GS, General Studies. The second paper is aptitude. Aptitude is just qualifying. Many people will be thinking, I'm telling you, first, before you all ask me questions, some questions I will try to break the myth, as I told you. The maths will be very, very difficult. So I've heard the maths is very difficult, etc., etc. So that's not the case. You have basic numeracy, class 10 level. I have taken the syllabus directly from the UPSC website, upsc.gov.in. You can see it is written class 10 level there. So basic numeracy, they are not going to ask you anything outside the world. No trigonometry, no logarithms, etc. Nothing. And more questions comes on comprehension. They want you to see, they want to check, can you comprehend what is written? So this is your prelims. So remember, prelims, you have paper 1, paper 2, and this is the basics that is there. So once you are cracking the prelims, the next paper that you have is the mains. Now, another myth, again, I can tell you, another myth that we have, that is, just a second, might be many people will be giving this exam. There will be thousands and lakhs of people giving the exam. The answer is lakhs of people do give this exam, but there are very few serious students who are giving the exam. So if you study, you don't come into the lakhs of people, you come into the serious students. I'll give you some statistics. This is also, again, if you can verify it. Last year, around 10 lakh students filled the form. Those people who attended were only 5 lakh. Those people who attended were only 5 lakh. 10 lakh filled the form. It is because it is on a Sunday, 100 rupees form filling charges. And whoever's free, they know, okay, UPSC hai aur ye exam bahut hi difficult hai, bahut competitive hai, and they go. Because it's a Sunday. Chalo, many people, they fill the form, many people go, many don't go also. So you will notice many of the these benches and all are empty. And then in the news, they show so many people, lakhs and lakhs, they fill the form, etc., etc. And we are going by the news. News is giving mirch masala. news is doing entertainment. Today's news, today's media is not what it used to be or what it should be. So they do, and then people are all demotivated. Then you have, out of this 5 lakh, not everybody is serious. Out of this 5 lakh, around 90,000 to 1 lakh people are who have studied, who know something, and they are sitting for the exam. And out of that, around 10 to 15,000 are selected for the mains. Okay. Then your next question will be, sir, but if this is the proportion, then because you must have also seen these numbers, only 0.002, they put more 232, 0.0002%. That is not what it is, or what you are listening to. It is just to break your morale. It is just to break you, so that you don't only know those who know these government jobs or government exams, only they will be giving it. So these are the some of the myths I'm just trying to break. So what if I'm not 9,000, or what if I'm not in those 3,000 or 1,000? What you have to remember is, now Government of India next coming year is also going to start CET, Common Entrance Test. You must have seen currently it is coming in the news. You can even give these exams, and in these exams around 1,25,000. I'm repeating, government has said it, 1,25,000 vacancies will be there in banks, Staff Selection Commission, railways, and other government. Have prelims and directly interview. So UPSC exam is different, and I'm giving you, by studying UPSC also, you can go for giving these exams also. So if you do not pass, does not matter. But yes, you will pass if you pursue it, if you are fighting for it, as Mr. Arokya Raj did. He got the results, and many people will. If not, if you think what is the backup, I'm telling you, I'm showing you, this is the backup, and this is there in the news. 2-3 days it is there. Every year lakhs are coming. So you have to remember this. This is also an opportunity, and I'll be telling you about the other government exams. But just give me 5 minutes, I'll be finishing this. Now second is mains. So after prelims, which is there in May, then comes mains. For mains, you have, the portion is the same if you notice, but you have to write answers over here. In your prelims, it was the ABCD, but in the mains, you have to write answers. It is in now coming year, it is in the month of September. So you have essay paper, you have GS paper 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have optional paper. These are the very important papers. Total is 1,750 marks. Don't look at the marks. What you have to study. Okay, so if you see, you have to study history, geography, society. So if you see, just look at the screen, you're studying history, geography, society. So what you're studying in the prelims is the same you're going to study in the mains. Polity, international relation. International relation is something new. There is technology, economics, biodiversity, security, and disaster management. Here, security, disaster management is new. And finally, we have ethics. Now, ethics, I would always say it is benefit for the Christians, because we have in our, when you go for a mass, you have the homily. So the father gives you a talk on how you should be, what are the values, what is ethics, what is morality, what is emotional intelligence, etc., etc. Directly, you have to just put those points over here. So 250 marks is actually in your pocket. But yes, you have to go to the mass regular. Father is saying, many of us go to the mass and then they are dozing off to sleep. But now you will listen to the mass also properly. And yes, there is an optional paper. So optional paper, you should be thinking, and later, if you have any doubts, you can always talk to me, or you can talk to Mr. Arokya Raj or anyone for the guidance on optional. That is a different 500 marks. So it is 1,750. There are two papers. That is the language paper. Hindi means any language, or English. Any language which is there in the 8th schedule. So there are around 22 languages in the 8th schedule. You can select any language. You can select Marathi, and as Mr. Arakuraj said, Tamil. You can select Gujarati, Marathi is there, Konkani is there, anything. So from the 22 languages, and then you have English. These two are compulsory, but these two are just qualifying. So the marks will not be counted. Just they will check out of 300, if you're crossing 75 marks, that's enough. So people don't study for this, and no one, most of them don't fail on this, because you're living in India, you will have some knowledge of some basic, some of the Indian language. Secondly, English you will be having when you're studying for UPSC and all. So that is not a concern. Concern is GS paper 1, 2, 3, 4, optional paper, and your essay. So these are the things that you should remember. 1,750, and then last you have interview, which is in month of December. It goes for around 1 to 3 months. So you have the interview. So remember, you have prelims, the ABCD, you have the mains, you have the answer writing, and then you have the interview. Portion is almost the same, not much of difference. So you don't think that, okay, I have to study something very different in mains. No. Some topics here and there you'll have to study, like international relations or society or security and disaster management. But from where will you study? The Hindu newspaper. Like currently, if one example which is there in current, which is coming to my mind. So we are seeing Amir Khan, he's gone and met Turkey president's wife. So that will not come in the paper. What will come in the paper? They'll just ask you, give something on India and Turkey's relation. So current moment, we don't have a very good relation between India and Turkey. A lot of issues are there. That is all I'll see in the paper. Just put those things down. Start with the history. How during the history we have got good relation with the Arab countries and with the Turkish people. Even we have our former vice president Ansari, his father and all, they had gone as doctors for the World War I, and Turkey was there. Turkey no doubt had lost. We had the Khilafat movement, etc., etc. And then start what is the problem which is happening in the current. So it is all there in the news. You don't have to do some political science or international relations studies. So the reason I just gave you this example is so that you understand, okay, how is the questions coming on, how we have to see the answers. So it is a very dynamic exam, a very beautiful exam, as many of the speakers also said, even Advocate Rafael D'Souza also said. So this is the paper pattern, this is how it is. And the finally interview is 275 marks. So you have to remember it, 1,750 plus 275 is 2,025. So your rank will be based on this 2,025 marks. So they will join the mains and they'll join your interview marks, and then they'll give you rank accordingly. So this is how the paper pattern is. This is how your selection will be done according to the rank, and you will be given your posts, your cadre, etc. According to your marks. Now another myth that, okay, in interview they ask some silly questions which you see in your Facebook and WhatsApp. Those are very silly questions. They don't ask such questions. They will ask about you. It's a personality test. They want officers. They want to know you. They don't want to know how you solve solve puzzles which is there in WhatsApp and Facebook. The Facebook and WhatsApp is giving all wrong information. So this is the myths that we have in mind, that I have tried to break. Mostly these are the questions which people ask, and this is how we do it. Now you must I'll be speaking about, just for 2 minutes I will be speaking about the other government exams also. Now you must be thinking, now if we are not able to pass this exam, what is the next opportunity that we have? We have exams. Now recently there are three notifications have come. One is the CDS, Combined Defense Service. So anyone who's in the age of 20 to 25 years, they can even get in the military services. This you can join the military. Just good opportunity, and it starts with the officer's post. And you'll ask me, sir, what is the portion? Prelims, as you had seen just now, and directly interview. There is a 5 days SSB, Service Selection Board, and you have to go for that SSB 5 days. And what is the eligibility? any graduate can go for the OTA, Officers Training Academy. Then you have CAPF exam, which no notification has come today, yesterday. CAPF, Central Armed Police Force. CDS notification is over 20th August. CAPF notification has come yesterday. Then we have another exam which is going to come, Intelligence Bureau, IB. I get the notifications. We know about these exams, many exams. And as I have told you, next year there is going to be CET. So if you give that CET, you will be getting scores and you can apply for various government exams, not UPSC. UPSC is in a different league. It's for Group B and Group C. Now, when so many opportunities are there, so many jobs are vacant, when we have the capability, the problem is there is a issue of information or misinformation. So we need to break that and we need to come forward. Now, just before I conclude, in 1 minute, I will just tell you that now the third or the most important thing that many people then have issue is, so how will we do? We have heard that there is a lot of it's the expense to do these exams, and it's very expensive. It is very difficult to manage the money part. Okay, so I've just shared the screen. So this year we have had, I'm from Knowledge Valley Institute, and we have had a result this year, and we have had many results earlier also. And for the benefit of many students who cannot pay and who can't go to Delhi, Pune, etc., online we are doing it for just 20,000 rupees. And there are installments also. And we have got the results. Even Bombay, I've been with Bombay Catholic Sabha for 2-3 years, and I've been very transparent. People have also seen me work. So I would say we even have the resources now, we even have the guidance now. So what is needed is just the will from your side. Okay, so in the future, if anyone wants to give these exams, or who is planning to give the 2021 exam, you don't need 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 10 lakhs. It's just 20,000. And from your home, you don't need to travel anywhere. You can study for these exams, and I will be personally guiding you. That is one thing which I can vouch for. And we have got results also. So these are the things. So I told you about the government exams. I told you the pattern. I gave you the syllabus. I told you how it is. If not this, then what? There are state exams also, public service exam, MPSC, UPPCS. The paper pattern is almost the same, and we will train for those exams also. So this is about the presentation that I had. Thank you for patiently listening to me, and I hope you take a decision not as a job. I always tell my students, take it as a mission, take it as you're doing something for the society, then only you will be able to crack this exam. So if one thing that you need to crack this exam, if you just take it as a job and a degree, many people ask me, what is a course? I tell, this is not a course. I want to tell them inside, it is actually a mission. But then I don't tell them, I tell this is just a competitive exam. So if you think you want to, if you have it in you and you want to, if you want to do something for the society, you will be able to crack the exam. Otherwise, it becomes little difficult, because the people who are doing the recruitment, they need passionate people. Thank you for patiently listening.
Yeah. Thank you, Ryan. Very knowledgeable presentation. So we can now have the Q&A round. Or if you have questions, there are a few questions which have been posed by participants, but you can definitely add more. So one question, Ryan, which I had is that you said that it is on ranking, the UPA, the civil services. So actually, how many candidates are shortlisted in the rank? Like, is it 5,000, 6,000, 4,000, 3,000?
No. It is actually for the interviews, there are around 3,000 students who are taken. And for the final ranking this year, it was around 927. 845 ranks are given, and others were in the reserved list and the other other details which are there. And what happens, what is another good thing which has recently started, Lawrence, I'll tell you. Whoever is going to get in the interview round, whoever is there in the interview, if for interview they are taking 3,000 students after passing me, they give interview. For interview, they are taking 3,000 students. What the government has done is, whoever is given interview for UPSC, they are seeing to it, they are getting jobs as managers in various public sector these companies also. So now, if you are even reaching the interview, you should be thinking that you will get a job.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And around 900 to 1,000 every year vacancies come.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So some questions have already come on here. One of the questions I can say it is for Mr. Magimai, is that what are the type of questions that are asked in the interview? I know Ryan has covered it, but since you have already given such interviews, you may be able to enlighten us.
Thank you, sir. In the interview, before entering into the interview after the main examination, we have to fill up DAF, detailed application form. That detailed application form, from our birth up to the stage of our interview, we have to fill all the details. That is the basic document which will be in the hand of the board members, with the chairman and board members. Your name, sometimes some people names will looking very different. Your village, your undergraduation, your interest, your hobby. The hobby, some people may prepare especially for after the main examination for hobby also. It need not be like that. If you really are pursuing any hobby, then you can familiarize with your hobby. Then your subject, your optional subject, your background, whatever you are telling, whatever we are telling, that is only from that. Those are all only the basic fields from where only the question will arise. Otherwise, the current scenario. I have received, I still remember two famous questions. One question, the year 2015, one mathematician died, Mr. Nash, N-A-S-H, Mr. Nash. Yes, I have seen that, I have read about it, but they asked about a very famous Nash equation. He found one equation. Because since I'm an undergraduate mathematics student, they asked a little more because I have studied the undergraduation in mathematics. The another question they asked about India-Iran relation. There was a port in Iran which is under development. Now I think the project has been handed over to China. In the year 2015, it was very much relevant at the time. The port name is Chabahar. I couldn't able to express this word Chabahar. The chairman asked again and again the word, the port name where India is going to invest to help Iran. Then I couldn't be able to express. Then finally the chairman himself told, no, it's Chabahar. Then only I come to know that because there are one more port is there in Pakistan. Its name is Gwadar. But my mind Gwadar port only used to come. Now it is coming very freely. But at the time of interview, the pressure made by myself, not by themselves. The interview board will be very chill and cool. Whatever the answers told by the students, they're ready to listen. They will never interrupt. Just they will ask finally, it will be like that. Okay, they will accept it. Whatever you are telling, they will accept it. They will not interrupt. But they will ask, as Mr. Rayan told, most of the time they will ask sensible questions only, related questions only. Sometimes some of the questions are popping up in the social media. Sometimes they will ask some different questions, but we don't bother about anything. We are not a master of everything. We are jack of all and king of nothing, like that. We want to manage that situation. The interview question, please don't worry about interview. As I told you already, when I talked to you, once you clear the prelims, once you clear the mains, the exam itself will make you eligible to appear for the interview. The basic thing is every day go through the events. That's all. That is more than enough. Current affairs, your optional subject, your undergraduation subject, your village, your district, your state. You have to know what is happening around you. They are not going to ask what is happening somewhere else. They will ask about what is happening around you. That is simple. Don't want to think about more about the interview. The interview, that is what I told you. It will give you the interview you will face. Once you clear the mains, please take my word. Or after clearing the mains, you will have that confidence to attend the interview. Yes, Mr. Lawrence.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. So another question for you. Since you are actually a practitioner, you are already an IRS officer. So how many hours did you actually prepare yourself as a build-up during the build-up? So how
That
many?
you
I know you spent very few years, but on an average, what is the type of commitment that is needed?
see whether you believe it or not. Apart from the time of sleeping and some other my work, eating or washing my clothes, I used to study. I spend most of my times around 15 hours or whatever. Started in the year of 2011 or 10. 3 years I spent in Chennai. Every day I used to study, study, study. Nothing more than that. No, only study, no function, no family, no friends. We came out of the home. My village is around 200 kilometers. Stayed in Chennai along with my friends. Only we know only studies, classes. Then came back to room, chatting with the friends. That's all. So, but I'm not telling other people used to do because I know my capacity. I know how much time I have to spend. It will change person to person. Somebody maybe don't want to require to spend more time, but their understanding or the way they are explaining the things, they are understanding things will be different. So, but the basic thing is they have to give more times. Definitely, it will. They have to give more their time. Then only it is a basic thing. Mr. Lord.
Okay, okay, okay. So now we give you some rest for a few minutes. So Ryan, a question for you. Can you just brief us on two parts? One is the IB exam, okay, and second is the Air Force. For the
Yes.
Air Force, what is the qualification? Either of you all can, both can.
Mr. Lars, just I want to have a word.
Yes, yes, yes.
I am the person who cleared the IB exam also. Just
Oh,
for the
okay.
participants, I have written all the exams. From
Oh,
group for
okay,
my
okay.
state civil service, I got into, but shortfall of 1 mark. Shortfall of 1 mark. I missed the service in group 1 exam in Tamil Nadu. That is the exam for deputy collector and DSP. I've written group 2. I written banking. I cleared for IOB. This IB. IB is a very normal exam. Very, very, very normal. This is it's easy to crack. If you are clear with the 10th, up to 10th standard, up to 12th standard, the basic thing, IB you can easily clear. That is, the post is Senior Intelligence Officer, SIO. That is the basic post. For that only you are going to appear. The interview will be very small. 2-3 IAS officers will sit in the interview panel. Because most of the people, those who are appearing in the exam, no, people selected appearing for various examination, they asked a very simple 2-3 minutes question only. They first asked him whether will you come and join the IB. I told him yes, I am ready to come and join. Okay, you are the only student of your son. How can you come and join? Because IB is one of the toughest job. You have to work always along the border area, mostly. Especially in the initial period of time, you have to be along the northern and eastern and western part of India, along the borders between Bangladesh, Pakistan, Iran, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and China. So I told her, no, my mother made me very strong and stuff. So I'm ready to go and join. If I got selected, but couldn't join. Now Mr. Rian may continue.
Yeah, yeah. So Ryan, the question from this,
Yes.
Air Force exam. Since the age there is, I think, 25, right? So there is a question
Yes.
from one participant, Nancy Pinto. He says that he has read somewhere that diploma holders can join or can't join. What is it? What is the myth now? Do you have to be a graduate?
Yes, graduation is needed. The diploma holders, see, it depends on diploma to diploma. Sometimes some diplomas are not to give the exam. So graduation is needed. Sometimes like people go for vocational training and then they do some diploma in some things. So for that they will not be able to, but or the BA or all these, and even diploma, which is equivalent to graduation. that will be considered as uh, so you need a graduation or an equivalent to graduation at least.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Cool.
and just talking about the AFCAT and the IB, as Aruk already has said, I'll be just telling, as Mr. Arukra said, it is very easy. It is history, geography, films, and then you have an interview. And you should know nowadays they are also asking for the local languages. So if you're giving as some state, you should know a basic about the local language, and they will ask you something in, if you know the local language. Normally you will be knowing the local language, so that's not an issue. For Air Force, you have GS, and for Air Force OTA you have GS and you have English, and then pass the exam on the basis of English. So our students who have studied in convent schools, or our students, many Christians who are good at English, they have an advantage when they go for these CDS exams or the Air Force exam, because English is strong, and that is why. And yes, even it's not that you need not study GS. GS also is needed, English also is needed, and then you go for SSB. If you want to join in CDS, IMA or Navy, then you'll have to have maths also. So English, see, GS and English for OTA, GS, English, or Air means for a permanent commission. OTA is a short service thing. So there are a lot of nitty-gritties, small here and there. I always say is, if you're studying for UPSC exams, these exams then start becoming a cakewalk. As Mr. Arukiraj is also saying, it is very easy. Just basics, history, geography, economics, science, etc.
Okay. Cool. So, what is the post you get? After you clear the Air Force exam, what is the designation you get? This is one of the queries.
Air Force. Yes. So now I do not know exactly. I don't remember the Air Force. But if you, it's in officer level. Like if you pass.
Yeah, I got.
Yeah. If you CDS, a colonel level. So a colonel, not colonel, lieutenant level. So a lieutenant level equal post will be there in Air Force. So what happens is, Air Force has a different name, Army has a different name,
Yeah.
and Navy has a different name. So I don't remember the names now, but Army, that level comes. So after the lieutenant, you have major is there, and colonel is there, etc., as you go up the ladder. So that is the post. So it is officer. You are not going to be a soldier. You are not going to be a subedar or a naib subedar. No, it's a.
Okay. Good. Thank you. So, can you give us some more information on this Group B and Group C? What comes under these? What are the exams that come in Group B?
So Group B, Group C are like the income tax. There is income tax officer. There is even in the Group B, Group C, there is clerical exam for the IBPS. So the CET. So if you are asking about the CET, Central Entrance Test, which is going to be next year, there will be clerical exams which will be there. Means you have to just get the rank, the score, and then you can give the clerk in the banks. Clerk position in the banks are very well paid jobs nowadays. It's not when you say clerk, they are the front office which are there. So you will get around 30 to 35,000 you will get in hand. Plus there are other perks also which are there. And even with the Group B, Group C, same, there is statistics officer, there is income tax officer, there is assistant in the parliament, assistant post. So all these posts are there which are very highly paid, and they are good respected posts, and they are getting good permanency also. You can say they are the of the main government. So they are the government jobs.
Okay, good. Thank you. So, do we have in the optional subject? Do we have any engineering subjects as an optional? Because what happens is we do have people who have done engineering and then they are pursuing IAS. So, is it going to be a benefit?
Yes, engineering as an optional is there, but mostly people don't go for it. Engineering
Okay.
as an optional is there, but people don't go for it. There are two reasons. First of all, three reasons I can say. First of all, the portion is very vast. So there are, like, if you take civil engineering, there are around 29 to 30 subjects which have to be covered. Secondly, many a times when people are doing engineering, they don't study so much, and it's that they are very chilled, and then they study, and then somehow they pass with KT, without KT, etc. So, but if you do it over here, it becomes dangerous. And the third is, now this engineering subject is not going to help you in your GS. So you will have to study another subject completely. Like I give you an example, there is history. So if you take history as an optional, it benefits you because you're studying 500 marks history, and you're also studying for your GS paper 1. If you study sociology, there is sociology 500 marks plus you're doing for GS paper 1, GS paper 2, and ethics, so on and so forth, geography also. But engineering, there is no help in your general studies. So you're actually studying an extra subject and you're putting more. So it depends on the strategy. I'm not saying no one takes, not work. Depends on strategy, depends on the guidance the student has, depends on the student is in.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you. Actually we are run out of the chat questions. So what I can do is, we may have another 5 minutes or so. Is there any of the participant who wants to unmute and probably ask a question? Okay. So seeing none, what I would do is I would request both of you to maybe give maybe 1 or 2 lines of advice to the young generation of our country, of our community. We can start with Ryan Pinto and then Maggie Mai. Just some advice for our generation. Yes.
Yes, I
Ryan.
would. Yes, sir. I would always advise, if one line or for our community. First of all, being a Christian, we have a call for service. Gives you a very good platform to serve the people, and having these Christian values in our bringing the Christian values in the services will not only help our community but also our country. So as I said, leadership is not taking up one person or one community, but all of us together, and as a country we will grow, and that is how we'll make a world a beautiful place then, as humanity.
Yeah. Thank you. So Ryan, you can in the chat box write your contact number. There may be people who may have questions. They can directly get in touch with you. Mr. Maggie Mai, your words of wisdom for the youth of our generation.
Yes, I'm able to hear. Yes, Mr. Lawrence. My basic thing is, if you want to become as a civil servant, you have to wait. You have the patience. You have to keep trying. You can write any other exams, but if your ultimate aim is a civil servant, so you have to get into service as an IAS, IPS. Your aim, that should be the only aim. You have to keep try, and one day you will get it. Because many times the focus will be changed from one place to another. If you change your focus from this exam, I have written all the exam, but I have not joined any exam, any service. I have cleared most of the services except teaching. The way I have joined the teaching means even I can continue my preparation. That is what I have chosen teaching as my job. Otherwise, I would have not joined the teaching also. What is your ultimate aim? If you want to become as a civil servant, as an into that service, as an IAS or IPS or IRS, whatever, please be focused on that part. It will take a time. Yes, I will tell you, it will take a time. But one day after your achievement, you will enjoy the fruit. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Magimai. I totally agree with you. See, our punchline of our webinars in this career opportunities always been lead our country. And we would always urge participants, urge the youth of our community to look at IAS, aim at IAS, and that is what we will continue to support. The Bombay Catholic Sabha at least will take up this issue and work with you guys. I would now request Alexio Fernandez, who is my colleague in this training forum, to give us a vote of thanks, please. Alexio?
Yeah. Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yes, Alexio.
Okay. Hi, a very good evening to one and all. I would like to begin with the words of Benjamin Franklin, and I quote, "Instead of cursing the darkness, light a candle." I say this because I've seen both of these speakers explain to us. Coming to Mr. Majimai Arokeraj, he spoke about personal experience of giving his services to the society, and he also spoke how he applied and got through the exams, understanding the pattern of the examinations, which is very important, putting God a priority, because with God everything is possible. I take this opportunity to thank you and your presence for your valuable time, Mr. Majimai Arokeraj.
Thank you, sir.
Now coming to Ryan Pinto, he is a very well known to BCS. I still remember his first meet, what we had at Borivali, around 400 students registered. He explained the steps and how to apply. Here he spoke how to serve in our society as we Christians believe, serve the people. Also spoke about different ranks and positions given according to the ranks. And he also put this current situation as COVID pandemic with the respect to job loss. Then he spoke power for people and serve for the people. Last, benefits of examinations and paper pattern and the syllabus. Thank you, Ryan Pinto. I also like to thank our BCS President Advocate Rafael D'Souza and his team. Our VP Mr. Lawrence Fernandez, also leading Training Youth and Affairs Forum, and his team who helped organize this event. BCS Treasurer Mr. Alvin Furtado, BCS VP Mr. Bento Lobo, Secretary General Mr. Vinod Narona, and Mr. Adrian Rosario, the Executive Committee member. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the participants who attended this webinar, and I'm sure that everyone will definitely take something home along with them. Thank you everyone, and God bless.
Yeah. Thank you, Alexio. And
Yes.
yeah, thank you, Alexio. I would also like to thank all the deanery councillors and the Central Council members who actually promoted this webinar in their respective groups. Thank you once again.
Let me just thank Mr. David Mansingh. If Magi Mai is here, it is through the contact of David Mansingh, and he is, I think, the nephew of David Mansingh. Thank you, David, for lending your nephew to us today and also participating in the webinar.
Yes. Thank you, Advocate. Thank you, one and all. I look forward to hosting you in our future webinars. I will be keeping the chat box open for some time. Yeah, and have a good night and God bless. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good night.